Welcome to my channel. This is the very first video of my channel. In this video, I will give a total specific overview of thyroid because it has become one of the rapid growing common disorders all over the world. About 20 million people in the United States have some type of thyroid condition. You know that China, USA and India has the highest number of thyroid cancer patients. In case of Bangladesh, the scenery is worst. Experts say that 50 million, mark that number, 50 million Bangladeshis are suffering for thyroid disease, with 30 million from the total not even aware of the condition. From this, you can easily understand how important to know different aspects of the disease to raise awareness. In this video, we will discuss about types of thyroid, symptoms of those, risk factors, prevention and control of this disorder, do's and don'ts, and finally, recommended foods and advice in details. So if you want to be familiar with these issues, you are requested to watch the video till the end. So in this slide, we will give a short description of thyroid. What is thyroid? Thyroid disease is a general term for a medical condition that keeps your thyroid from making the right amount of hormones. You need to bear in mind that it can affect people of all ages. Your thyroid is a small butterfly-shaped gland. It's a small butterfly-shaped gland which is located at the front of your neck under your skin. It's a part of your endocrine system and controls many of your body's important functions by producing and releasing thyroid hormones like thyroxine, which we call T4, triiodothyronine, which we call T3. These hormones basically help your body use energy, help balance body temperature, help your brain, heart and other organs function properly. So from this thing, you can easily understand when your thyroid isn't working properly, it can impact your entire body. Now in the next slide, we will discuss about the types of thyroid. This disease is of two types. One is hyperthyroidism. It's a condition in which the thyroid gland produces too much thyroid hormone. Some people refer to this condition as an overactive thyroid. Another one is hypothyroidism. It is also called underactive thyroid. When the thyroid gland doesn't make enough thyroid hormones to meet your body's needs, we call it hypothyroidism. In the next slide, we will discuss about the symptoms of thyroid. In case of hyperthyroidism, weight loss and increased appetite, heat intolerance and sweating, difficulty sleeping, fatigue or tiredness, rapid heartbeat and nervousness, irritability. All of these are symptoms of hyperthyroidism. Then in case of hypothyroidism, fatigue and muscle weakness, weight gain and constipation, dry skin and hair loss, depression, sensitivity to cold. These things are symptoms in case of hypothyroidism. In the next slide, we will discuss about the risk factors of thyroid. Firstly comes family history. Having a family member with thyroid disorders increases your risk. Secondly comes gender. Women are basically more likely to develop thyroid disorders than men. Then comes age. Thyroid disorders can occur at any age but are more common in older adults, especially over 60. Then comes autoimmune diseases. Conditions like Hashimoto's thyroiditis and Graves' disease increase the risk. Hashimoto's thyroiditis is an autoimmune disease. It occurs when your body makes antibodies that attack the cells in your thyroid. The thyroid then can't make enough of the thyroid hormone. Graves' disease is an autoimmune disorder that involves overactivity of the thyroid, that is hyperthyroidism. Then comes iodine intake. Too much or too little iodine in the diet can affect thyroid function. Now, we'll discuss about a very important thing, that is prevention and control. How we can prevent and how we can control thyroid. Firstly comes regular checkups. Routine thyroid function tests can help detect any abnormalities early. You need to maintain a healthy lifestyle, eat a balanced diet, exercise regularly, manage stress, and get enough sleep. You must avoid smoking because smoking can increase the risk of thyroid disorders, particularly Graves' disease, which we have discussed earlier. What is Graves' disease? You need to limit exposure to radiation. High levels of radiation, such as from medical treatments or nuclear accidents, can damage the thyroid gland. You need to manage iodine intake. Ensure you are getting an adequate but not excessive amount of iodine in your diet based on the type of thyroid. There are some do's and don'ts we need to follow. Now, in this slide, we will discuss about what we should do and what we shouldn't do. You need to take your prescribed medications as directed by your doctor. Don't self-medicate or take supplements without consulting your healthcare provider, as they can interfere with thyroid medication. You need to eat a balanced diet rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins. Thirdly, one of the main thing you need to do is to manage stress through relaxation techniques. You can do yoga, you can do meditation, because these things help to reduce your thyroid and make your hormonal balance in your body. You shouldn't skip your meals, as irregular eating patterns can affect thyroid function. And don't ignore symptoms or changes in your health. You need to report to any concerned doctor when you will get these kinds of symptoms. Now this slide we will discuss about one of the main topics, that is which foods we need to eat and which foods we need to avoid in case of thyroid. Firstly, we will look at the foods that can be harmful to people with hyperthyroidism if they eat them in large quantities. Firstly comes iodine-rich foods. Too much iodine can make hyperthyroidism worse by leading the thyroid gland to produce too much thyroid hormone. A person with hyperthyroidism should avoid eating excessive amounts of iodine-rich foods. Secondly comes soy. Animal studies have shown that soy ingestion can interfere with radioactive iodine uptake for the treatment of hyperthyroidism. That's why soy needs to be avoided. Thirdly comes caffeine. Caffeine can worsen some symptoms of hyperthyroidism, including palpitations, tremors, anxiety, insomnia. Where possible, a person with hyperthyroidism should try to avoid foods and drinks containing caffeine. Now, in the next slide, we will discuss which foods contain these kinds of nutrients, because you need to be aware of these kinds of foods. If you don't know which food contains these kinds of nutrients, then you cannot avoid them. So firstly comes iodine-rich foods. You need to avoid iodized salt, some kinds of fish and shellfish, seaweed dairy products, iodine supplements, food products containing red dye, egg yolks, and so on. In case of hyperthyroidism, these foods contain a high value of iodine. That's why you need to avoid them. In case of soy, you need to avoid soy milk, soy sauce, soybean oil. In case of caffeine, you need to avoid regular coffee, black tea, chocolate, regular soda, energy drinks. Now we will see which foods are good for hyperthyroidism, because the foods I have told previously, those foods you need to avoid. Now you need to know that in case of hyperthyroidism, which foods you need to take. Firstly comes selenium. Selenium is a micronutrient that the body requires for the metabolism of thyroid hormones. Research suggests that selenium can help improve some of the symptoms of autoimmune thyroid disease, such as thyroid eye disease. Among people using anti-thyroid medications, those who take selenium supplements may achieve normal thyroid levels more quickly than those who do not. Secondly comes iron. Iron is a nutrient that is important for normal bodily processes, including thyroid health. Iron helps the red blood cells carry oxygen to other cells in the body. Researchers have linked low levels of iron to hyperthyroidism. Thirdly comes foods containing calcium and vitamin D. Many people with hyperthyroidism have vitamin D deficiency. The primary source of vitamin D is the sun hitting the skin so that the body can make its own. However, due to concerns about sun exposure, and increased risk of skin cancer, many people actively limit their time in the sun or use sunscreen. Not many foods are good sources of vitamin D. In the next slides, we will discuss the foods which contain vitamin D. Next, you can eat spicy foods. Some spicy foods are also good for hyperthyroidism. In the next slide, we will discuss which food contains these kinds of nutrients. So, in case of selenium, Brazil nuts, oatmeal, egg whites, spinach, fortified pasta, baked beans. All these kinds of foods are has very high value of selenium. Then, in case of iron, dark chocolates, beef, chicken, spinach, fortified cereals. These kinds of foods contain iron. In case of calcium, milk, broccoli, fortified orange juice. These foods are very rich in calcium, but you need to bear in mind that you need to take meal not more than once a day. In case of vitamin D, salmon and tuna fish, milk and some fortified dairy products, fortified cereals. These kinds of foods are rich in vitamin D. Now, I have told you earlier that spices can also reduce thyroid in case of hyperthyroidism. So, you can take turmeric. Studies have linked certain spices, including turmeric and green chilies, to a reduced frequency of thyroid disease, including hyperthyroidism. Turmeric also has an anti-inflammatory properties. People can use different spices such as turmeric to add flavor to their food. In the next slide, we will see which nutrients are helpful in case of hypothyroidism. In the previous slides, we have discussed about the foods of hyperthyroidism. Now we will discuss which foods are good for hypothyroidism. So these are the nutrients which can be helpful in case of hypothyroidism. Those are iron salt, selenium, vitamin D, vitamin B12, magnesium, and iron. So you need to find out those foods which contain these kinds of nutrients, and if you take them in a regular basis, in case of hypothyroidism, then your hypothyroidism can be minimized and can be controlled. That's all from today. Hope you have understood many basic things regarding thyroid. In the next video, inshallah, I will try to give some basic concepts regarding how to lower cholesterol levels. So those who are patients of high cholesterol levels, they can watch my video and stay tuned. And please do subscribe my channel because this is my first video, you know that. If you subscribe my channel, then I will be able to make more videos which are very much relating to our regular health. So thank you very much.